Hello. Welcome to the channel. Today is July 26th. This episode is related to EHang. In this episode, we are going to share our observations and comments about dialogue with EHang by US Stock Research Institute. First, about EHang management shareholding structure. EHang Chief Strategy Officer Edward Huaxiang Su just resigned, and we may wonder how much stake he has in EHang along with other EHang officers. Shareholding structure of EHang management officers. As of March 31, 2022. This sheet shows EHang management officers' holdings. The columns here are Class A ordinary shares, Class B ordinary shares, total ordinary shares on an as converted basis, percent of beneficial ownership, percent of aggregate voting power. Notes. Asterisk indicates less than 1% of the total outstanding shares. This column lists EHang officers. Huazhi Hu, EHang founder and CEO. As of March 31, 2022, Hu Huazhi held a 37.8% stake in EHang and 85% of the voting rights. The second largest shareholder is Richard Jian Liu, EHang CFO. He holds a 1.4% of shares and 0.3% of the voting rights. All the other officers have less than 1% of shares. Hao Xiangho, Independent Director. Mr. Hao Xiangho has served as EHang Independent Director since August 2015. Mr. Ho has served as a Senior Partner, Managing Director and member of the Investment Committee of GP Lingang High-Tech Fund since January 2017. He has less than 1% of shares. Connor Chiahung Yang, Independent Director. Mr. Connor Chiahung Yang has served as EHang Independent Director since December 2019. Mr. Yang is the Chief Financial Officer of Talking Data Group Holding Limited since December 2021. Dongming Wu, Independent Director. Mr. Dongming Wu has served as EHang's Independent Director since June 2020. Mr. Wu has served as a Managing Director of DHL Sinotrans since May 2003. Xian Fang, EHang Chief Operating Officer. He just joined EHang not long ago. Edward Huaxiang Su, EHang Chief Strategy Officer. Edward Huaxiang Su joined EHang in July 2019 as Chief Strategy Officer, and just resigned. He has less than 1% of shares. It is noted here. Principal shareholder, Genesis Rising Limited. Genesis Rising Limited, a British Virgin Islands company, is wholly owned by Mr. Huazhi Hu. As such, its numbers here are close to or about the same as Huazhi Hu's. Next, about dialogue with EHang by US Stock Research Institute. Recently, reporter from a Chinese finance media, US Stock Research Institute visited EHang and conducted an in-depth interview or dialogue with EHang. Here is a photo of the reporter sitting in EH216 at EHang Guangzhou headquarters. As EHang fans and investors, you may be already familiar with some of the relevant content in the dialogue. We will select and digest. Reporter question: with the development of the industry, the number of companies entering the market is also increasing. How do you see the future competition pattern? EHang answer digest: companies involved in R&D can be divided into two categories. One is traditional aircraft and automobile industry giants, such as Boeing, Airbus, Toyota, Geely, etc. The other is innovative startup companies, including Joby and Archer in the United States, Volocopter and Lilium in Germany, China's EHang, Xiaopeng Huitian, etc. The traditional aircraft and automobile industry giants have contributed experience and professional background, and have the advantages of coordinated development, the establishment of sales channels, and the development of commodity operations. EHang has a first-mover advantage. For example, EHang was approved by CAAC in 2018 to become China's first pilot unit for passenger autonomous aircraft. EHang passenger AAVs has been successfully applied in many professional fields such as rescue, medical treatment and transportation, and has conducted test flights in 11 countries. EHang believes that in the future, the industry will present a situation where 100 flowers bloom. Reporter question: since there are many players in the industry, what will you pay attention to when evaluating the eVTOL products designed by various manufacturers? EHang answer digest: it can be analyzed from 4 dimensions: product design, test flight, regulatory level and commercial delivery. The first and foremost is product design. The evaluation of passenger autonomous aircraft needs to consider multiple technologies such as fully autonomous driving, preset routes, ultra-remote management, and 4G per 5G communication networks. Test flight. Extensive flight testing can help EHang find room for product improvement. Regulatory level. In February 2022, CAAC officially issued the Special Conditions for EHang EH216S UAV system to provide a basis for the compliance and safety of EHang EH216S. Commercial delivery. EHang has already received 210 foreign orders for EH216 and VT-30 this year. At the same time, the Yunfu production base has been officially put into operation in mid-2021. As you can see, EHang is leading the competitors in all these 4 dimensions or areas. Reporter question: what stage is the development of the domestic urban air mobility industry in? Can you estimate the time to scale the application? EHang Answer Digest: at present, no country in the world has entered the stage of large-scale commercialization in the field of urban air mobility. EHang believes that the commercialization process of the urban air transportation industry cannot be compared with the rapid explosion of the internet industry. As an industry with aviation industry genes, its development will inevitably require a long process of technological precipitation, strict industry supervision and continuous improvement of the ecological system construction. Question: since large-scale application is still difficult in the short term, what conditions does the entire industry need to meet before UAM is implemented? EHang Answer Digest: first of all, eVTOL products need to undergo a lot of safety tests. Since the launch of the first passenger AAV in 2016, the EHang 216 series has conducted more than 20,000 safe test flights. Second, UAM requires industrial planning and policy support at the national level. Domestic eVTOL products need to be verified in accordance with the airworthiness certification procedures of CAAC, while urban air mobility is a brand new strategic industry with no precedent in airworthiness certification. Third, emerging technology such as eVTOL is often developed first, promoting the subsequent upgrade and innovation of standards and regulatory systems. Since the launch of the EH216S type certification project, CAAC and EHang have jointly formulated the relevant standards for the EH216S type certification. Finally, an operational ecology with a sound system and strong reproducibility is also required. In addition to the aircraft itself, the UAM system also includes command and dispatch platforms, navigation and positioning systems, sites and other components, and the construction of related infrastructure is essential. Question: since the commercialization of UAM is still being explored, what advantages does it have over traditional transportation? EHang Answer Digest: UAM has obvious advantages in terms of cost compared to traditional transportation. Autopilot aircraft can save labor costs and fuel costs. Product maintenance costs and infrastructure construction costs are low, compared with traditional asset-heavy transportation methods, such as traditional aviation, railways, highways, etc. With the advancement of related technologies, the establishment and supervision of industry standards, and the improvement of the operation system, it is only a matter of time before the large-scale commercial application of eVTOL. Question: as the first pilot unit in China, what other efforts have you made on the road of UAM commercialization? EHang Answer Digest: positioned the company as a UAM platform operator at the beginning of its listing. In addition to the design and manufacture of aircraft hardware, EHang's UAM solutions cover many aspects such as how to plan flight routes, formulate flight rules and standards for connecting with civil aviation management systems, and use 4G per 5G transmission links for remote control. Question: since the beginning of this year, electric vehicles and other manufacturing industries have faced supply chain problems such as rising battery costs. Will these problems affect EHang's production plan? EHang Answer Digest: most of EHang's suppliers are located in southern China. So far, EHang has not seen any major impact on its supply chain caused by the pandemic. Due to changes in the global landscape, EHang has seen some price increases for raw materials. Therefore, EHang has also prepared countermeasures in advance. Question: we know that UAM companies such as EHang Intelligent and Xiaopeng Huitian have been updating the recruitment information for various technical positions. Is there a big gap in the corresponding talents in the industry at this stage? EHang Answer Digest: EHang did not directly answer the question. Instead, mention the required talent fields and the technologies involved. As an innovative industry, the urban air mobility industry requires not only experienced traditional aviation talents, but also talents with backgrounds in various disciplines such as computer, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things. Technical difficulties such as battery technology, radar, optical and geolocation sensors, artificial intelligence, and multi-sensor integration that adapt to aviation standards all require professional talents. Question: if UAM really achieves large-scale implementation, what changes will happen to urban travel life in the future? EHang Answer Digest. AAV expands the current urban transportation from one-dimensional to three-dimensional in the air. Major change examples. First, automatic driving cooperates with the command and dispatch center cluster scheduling to avoid traffic accidents caused by human errors. Second, scheduled routes increase the certainty of travel, not only cruising faster, but also more efficient in a straight line and free from congestion. Third, the aircraft of urban air mobility are all powered by green energy, which reduces carbon emissions and improves air quality. Fourth, people who travel with urban air mobility can more easily reach previously inconvenient destinations, such as islands, mountains, wetlands, and forests, etc. As you can feel from the dialogue, there are many things involved with EHang's AAV aircraft and the UAM system and infrastructure. Thanks to EHang's vision and achievements, the flight dream is becoming a reality soon. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.